And welcome everybody to the Lunacy Podcast. My name is Tony. I'm here with Dave and Dave Stevens, Dave Sterling. I'm Tony Permananzi. We also have John Andruski here who's getting a beer. We are live. Well, not live. I keep saying live. I don't like to say live. We're at Torg Brewery in Spring Lake Park. It's a new brewery that just popped up. I think they opened up like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Not sure. But so we're here at Torg. They've allowed us to come here and drink their beers. What are they, I mean, Dave, you were saying something about their beers here are kind of English.
Yeah, they're all pretty English. Other than they do have the Hefeweizen and they have I think a dark Weiss too.
Mm-hmm. I thought I saw like an American pale ale up there as well.
They do, yeah.
But overall, it's kind of very English. They've got their amber. They've got their, well, I guess the dry stout's technically Irish.
Yeah, that's an Irish one.
But they have the English brown, and they have a couple.
They have a German Hefeweizen, maybe it's more of a European slant to their beers, but
Yeah,
they seem to be very, I would say, traditional.
Yeah, they have a lot of traditional beers.
Yeah.
I've got the Billy Butcherson's mouthwash, which is an amber ale, but it's like hopped up extremely high. So it's a little bit of a heavy drinker. What do you guys got over there?
So I've got the Brigade's Bathwater. It's an Irish dry stout, or dry Irish stout. It's basically a Guinness. Mm-hmm. Really smooth. It's dark. It's not a lot of bite to it. I mean, you can put a couple back. It's a good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went with the Third Thursday Porter, and I'd call it, it's smooth, but it's smooth and dark, but it's got a bit of bitterness to it, and it's actually aged in oak, I guess, however you want to describe that. But so it gives it definitely gives it just that hint of whiskey.
Nice.
Not quite as severe as some of the other ones that we've tried recently, but it's pretty good. It packs a punch too at an ABV of 7.2.
Holy jeez.
That's why my glass is slightly smaller than all of yours.
I see that. Before we get into anything else, guys, I do want to mention that you can find us on bgn.fm. We're on the BGN network. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Let's see what else. What else, guys? Spreaker.
SoundCloud?
SoundCloud.
Say iHeart already?
Yeah, we said iHeart.
I think that's it.
That's it. And you can find us on Twitter. We have our own Facebook page, lunacypodcast.com.
However you listen to your podcasts, you
We're
can
there.
basically find us.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Whether it's an app or over the internet or wherever.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're really, really lazy, you can literally just Google us, and it will give you...
Oh, I don't know if we're on Google.
4 or 5.
We're on Google.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
We're not technically on Google Play,
We're not Google Play.
but we're on
It's
Google
going to happen.
Maybe. I don't know.
someday.
After you win the awards.
Maybe.
It's all you.
Maybe.
The iHeartRadio Awards. I still haven't figured out how to vote for those.
Yeah.
Do you have an account?
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe it's just being on the phone. It was bizarre.
Maybe we'll just get one vote from you. That's fine.
We at least got a vote.
We got a
it's
vote.
kind of like a write-in for the president.
Yeah, pretty much.
Baby steps, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Just real quick, I had to do it while we're sitting here. So I just Googled the Lunacy Podcast, and we're easily 5 of the first 6 things that come up.
What's the other one?
We don't need to get into that, but...
Is it not good?
It might be ours, but I'm not sure. The first thing that comes up is Spreaker. That would be us. And then you'd find us on Apple Podcasts. You'd see us on Twitter, Facebook. And then you scroll down a little bit longer, and you can actually see some of our episodes streaming live. You can watch them on YouTube, actually. Did we mention that? Well, here we are on YouTube.
We're not.
So.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
And YouTube's a little weird. I cannot figure out how the hell to use YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm actually Gen X.
Probably.
But obviously, we're all Gen X.
We even have several images.
Yeah.
Several images.
But yeah, so it's YouTube's a little weird. I've got it set up so we have a channel,
Yeah.
but it only lets us do 15 minutes.
It splits us up.
Yeah, I don't.
It's weird.
And
Maybe
what,
it's-
does an ad kick in then?
No, it doesn't do anything. It just 15 minutes.
Cuts us off. Yeah.
So I think maybe that's just for if we ever decide to,
Do a video.
Videotape us.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to see that.
We could do short video segments.
I don't know. I'm the voice of podcasts. I'm not a voice for whatever.
And we do have the Snapchat, which
have
I still
Snapchat.
haven't used.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's what are we supposed to do that?
Yeah, I
Like-
think we're supposed to do it like when we're doing this thing, like show, hey, we're here live, and we do a little, and that's what
You can
people
put a
do
fun
on the
caption
Snapchat.
underneath,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah,
put
yeah.
like
You put, like, little-
bunny ears
we
on
put bunny ears
us.
on each
Oh
other.
yeah,
yeah,
we
like
do the
that.
Yeah.
filters. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it
We
shows.
should have a theme: Santa Claus outfits tonight.
Yeah, we could have. It was almost
We could have.
Christmas. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good
John,
idea.
you've got kids. You know how to, all of you got kids, so you should know how to do it. Maybe we could get us on, snap a few, get them on the website real quick.
Right.
No.
Maybe you could become our social media
Or
guy.
TikTok.
TikTok. Musically's done. TikTok is the new
Yes,
thing now.
TikTok is the new thing. So, okay.
Just a little housekeeping stuff to talk about. I want to say thanks again to the guys from True North Elite for our
Yeah.
last episode at Dual Citizen Brewing. We had a huge amount of listeners for mass amounts of listeners for last podcast we did, and then we saw a little jump in some previous podcasts too. I think from that podcast.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to those guys. Guys, if you're listening, keep on listening. We'd love to have those guys back on again at some point. We'd love to get back to Dual Citizen at some point.
We even got a shout out from the Flock.
Oh, the Flock,
of
yeah, the Flock in Madison, yeah.
Forward.
And if anybody from the Flock is listening, we are going to plan on coming out to one of your games this year. We're going to try to do it and do a podcast out there. I think it'd be great to get some of those guys from the Flock on our podcast, get the Madison connection going. I like road trips. Do you guys like road trips?
I do, especially when it's checking out an affiliate team.
Exactly right.
We've done that in the past for other sports.
We have done that, yes.
I love road trips.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you went on a
I-
road trip with Johnny once.
I did.
Yeah. How was that for you?
It worked out well.
Was it good?
I'd do it again.
We
In
won.
fact,
There you go.
we're in Chicago again this season.
There you go. We got Chicago. We got the Madison connection.
Yeah.
We got KC. We got a lot.
Madison in the summertime.
There you go.
Sounds nice to me.
Yeah.
We'll do it. So, Flock members, if you're listening, we're going to get out there and see you guys at the game and have a good time out there.
Yeah, and they need a podcast because I haven't seen anything pop up yet.
Yeah, they
Obviously, they don't have a reason yet.
Well, not
but-
yet, but they should get a podcast out there.
Yeah.
So, anybody's listening, if you want to start a podcast, we'll teach you how to not do a podcast. So let's get into it, boys, a little bit here. First and foremost, let's start talking about the expansion draft. And on top of that, the re-entry / waiver draft. So the expansion draft, Stevens, who did we leave open for the expansion draft?
So basically, of the 20-man roster, the main roster, we had Omsberg, Carter Manley, and Eric Miller were basically left unprotected for that, but none of those players were taken.
We had nobody taken.
And I don't think we kind of missed on the players that we thought might have been left
Oh,
unprotected.
yeah. I mean,
I think we were right in the assumption that we didn't necessarily think that any of our
Yeah.
players
Well,
would
yeah,
be
and
taken.
also the guys that I commented on. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that they counted everyone you let go
Okay.
as being part of the freebies to go
Oh,
out to,
okay.
to the draft. So I didn't even include them because I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of that was my thought too, as I didn't think
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah, I thought once they were, cut or options weren't signed that
yeah.
was it. But
Exactly right.
apparently not.
And I think we kind of we kind of got a little more into it than maybe we should have. I think when we were trying to decide on who we were looking at protecting, not protecting, I think we were putting more of an emphasis on the salary, and maybe we could dump the
Yeah.
salary, but that
Yeah.
wasn't really.
That's not what they went for.
They didn't really need to do it
No.
that way, and they didn't. So they went with it. They kind of left all the young guys unprotected, the guys that really didn't see the field, at least for the big squad. So
Yeah, and they were common sense, really, because
Yeah.
why is Cincinnati going to pick up, young players that didn't really see the field? Well, I mean, other than Manley, I guess he saw the field a little bit, but it just didn't seem logical for Cincinnati to do that.
But we talked about that logical for Cincinnati to pick up these players because they've, like the United, when they started, they really didn't need to pick up
Right.
They have a group, and then they've made some signings, and they really need to pick up anybody more than like backup
Right.
material, really.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
entry. So we had the re-entry draft after that.
It was the waiver draft.
Waiver draft.
Yeah,
sorry.
the waiver
And
draft.
we didn't
was-
do anything.
The
We didn't
waiver
do
draft
nothing.
was first. That was on
Yeah.
the 12th.
12. Yeah. And we didn't do jack in that one either.
And then we had the re-entry draft stage 1,
Which
Yes.
December
Okay.
14th.
which
Yeah.
we didn't do anything.
Anything in that one? No.
And didn't lose anyone.
Didn't lose anybody. No.
And then technically today was
Today was
stage 2 of the
stage
re-entry.
2.
Which, again, we didn't do anything.
We didn't do anything, but we lost
But
Lamson.
officially. Now,
Officially.
obviously, we had already chosen not to re-sign him anyway, but there was still a chance that we could have negotiated something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So he went to LA.
So I know it was you're not going to lose any sleep that we still have Shuttleworth as opposed to Lamson. I know we kind of had
I think
opposing viewpoints
there's
on our
a
last podcast. But
there's obviously a need for a young goalkeeper to kind of
Yeah.
start training in a little bit.
well, that or a new goalkeeper altogether, like you brought up last time as well.
Potentially.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where Bobby's salary is probably a little high to have him sitting on the bench. Honestly, Lamson's salary was a little high to have him sitting on the bench. I was kind of surprised that they brought him in because, I mean, really they're not great keepers, but they were starter worthy.
Starter worthy, yeah.
So the fact that we had 2 starters on the roster was a little weird. So I think Tony, you're probably going the right direction with we're going to
Yeah.
bring in someone young.
Bring in somebody young, let them train underneath Shuttleworth for a year, and then hopefully you dump Shuttleworth, and that young guy kind of comes in and becomes the starter.
Yep. And later when we go through some players that are now in free agency, I've got for sure one goalkeeper on there that I think would be a good solid backup.
And
I don't know that he'd be a replacement, but he'd be a good backup.
I look at goalkeepers a little bit like I look at quarterbacks in NFL. I think having a veteran kind of teach a younger guy for about a year or two,
Yep.
and then have them stepping up is the right way to do it.
Unless you're Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, that situation.
Yeah.
You get your coach fired.
That's right.
Right.
That's right, you do get coach fired.
It's true.
Well, Aaron got his coach fired again this year, so...
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't lose anybody, and we didn't really gain anybody.
Nope.
Well, except for Lamson in this round, and he was kind of a backup. So,
Right.
what do we really,
Yeah, and here's the problem. Obviously, this changed a little bit today, but I had in my notes that, here we are, off-season, we are officially 2 weeks into the off-season, being that the final was just a couple weeks ago. But we've done nothing for signings at all. And I saw on Twitter someone figured out that there were 7 of the 24 teams have done nothing.
yeah.
Okay, great. That doesn't look good when you're part of those 7 who have done nothing. Well, what's even worse is when you look at those 7 and 5 of them were in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. 2 of them were in the final. Mm-hmm. And you think, well, yeah, they kind of have their team the way they want to have their team. They don't really have a lot they have to do. So it makes sense that they're not making moves. But then you have lowly Minnesota United and San Jose, 2 of the worst teams in the league, are the other 2 teams who haven't done jack shit.
7-year plan.
I know. I'm slowly starting to think that Dave is right. But
He might be.
They didn't make a lot of signings, right? Or at least publicly make those signings available. But I mean, they do have a large part of their roster theoretically in place right now.
They do.
and they have a log jam
Yeah.
in midfield.
Yeah.
I mean, a massive log jam.
Well,